Hello, hello. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Brianna Regine. I am the founder as well as lead brand strategist, publicist, and business manager of Brianna Regine Visionary Consulting, also known as BRBC, also known as BR Visionary Consulting. And we are a strategic communications and marketing agency that helps increase the visibility as well as the infrastructure, cohesiveness, engagement, and longevity of entertainment, lifestyle, and beauty brands. Today's topic is all words. What are they? Today's topic is going to be about what is public relations and, more importantly, how you can use PR in your business. In short, public relations is all about bringing brand awareness and visibility to your brand through strategic storytelling. Okay, so yes, we help manage a brand's reputation. We help take your brand story, if we haven't already crafted it, and amplifying that and sharing it with the masses. So we take a brand and position it in a variety of different channels, variety of different ways that include media relations, strategic partnerships, influencer relations. When you get into corporate or publicly filed companies, you have investor relations, international relations, if it's artist specific, artist relations, talent relations, the list goes on and on. And ultimately, like I said, we are strategic storytellers. Our job is to take the brand's mission, the brand's values, the brand's intent, and keep in mind the essence of the brand and the goal of the brand, and craft that into attractive pitches that align with the news cycle, that may align with the timing of another brand's, product launch, or a traditional event that they may do. Figuring out how to market the product with traditional like seeding of partnerships and things of that nature. So one thing I want to be clear, which is why I hesitated a little bit when I just said the marketing part, is PR isn't marketing. Generally speaking, marketing is intended to generate sales. The only thing that PR is meant to do is to increase the visibility of a brand. Okay? Now, some people will say that PR is an extension of marketing, which is true if you define it in that way, because PR is most effective when marketing is also in place. Okay? So marketing needs PR, or rather, I should say PR needs marketing, right? Because marketing can happen without PR. It's just that PR is an additional service, an additional initiative, an additional effort to amplify what's happening on the marketing front. Okay. So with that being said, public relations and the outcome of public relations, which would be a media placement, which would be a partnership, those outcomes aren't guaranteed. And that's why some people tend to become confused about what is the value of PR. PR is one of those services that tends to rely more on qualitative data than quantitative data. Now, granted, in the world of PR, specifically when you're thinking about traditional media and the peso model that refers to P for paid, E for earned, S for shared, and O for owned media. Nowadays, there's a lot more pay to play than there used to be. And so there tends to be a blurring of lines between people who may think that if they pay a publicist, that automatically guarantees that they'll get a particular feature. But they may not be aware that behind the scenes, that feature could have been paid for, that magazine cover could have been paid for, that interview could have been paid for, excuse me. There's a lot of that happening nowadays, especially when we live in such a microwavable, news cycle. But the ultimate goal of PR really is earned media when you're talking about media relations. But there's other ways to achieve visibility, especially when you are looking at an entire strategy. Yeah, PR, it takes time. It takes effort. Your publicist, your practitioner, your PR specialist, your agency, PR agency, whichever you're looking to hire or thinking about hiring, you are paying them for their time, their effort, their research skills, their established relationships, their ability to create and sustain new relationships in an organic way, their knowledge, their expertise. That's what you're paying for when you're investing in public relations. And sometimes that tends to discourage people from investing in the service. But truthfully, if your branding is there and your marketing is happening at a consistent level where to the public it's visible that there is something to be marketed, then you need PR to amplify your message, to amplify what's happening with your product, your service, your persona. You need that because eventually you will hit a plateau. If the plateau doesn't happen before you become well known, then how are you going to be able to manage the inquiries that are coming your way, right? We have cases that we see every now and then where it seems like someone gains success overnight, right? Now on the back end, we know that that didn't happen, except for the one-off occasions that tend to have like the viral moments. But even those viral moments or those overnight successes, can you imagine the amount of inquiries that they get or the opportunities that they miss because they don't know how to respond to, an overwhelming amount of incoming press questions or partnership questions, people wanting to collaborate in different ways, potential investors probably. Like, these are all things that a publicist is able to maneuver. Not all publicists touch like the event side of things, but a publicist can help with sponsorships. A publicist can help with vendors. And I'm talking about managing sponsorships, managing vendors, reaching out to them, working out the logistics of them, doing recaps for them so that way they can sustain the relationship and hopefully secure the sponsor and vendor again for the following event. Like, all of these things take time and effort, and PR is such a labor-intensive service that people don't understand it, especially in today's day and age when social media just makes it seem like, oh, I can go to all these cool events, take tons of pictures, and now I'm a publicist. No, that's not how it works. It's a lot of work. Another reason why public relations gets so blurred is because while marketing has clear KPIs, aka key performance indicators, which are how you measure if your campaigns and your efforts are working, public relations, depending on the publicist that you work with, the KPIs will be structured differently, right? In general, you have to think about it like this. A particular campaign depends on the client, right? A campaign is shaped on the client's goals. So that already makes things different from the jump. Then you have to take a look at, okay, well, what does that campaign involve? Is something happening specifically on the marketing front, and can public relations help amplify how the marketing is being done in that particular campaign? And then what are the specific PR aspects that can take place so that way the campaign can run to its fullest capacity given all the resources that are available? So those two different factors, and then you add on the type of publicist or public relations agency that you're working with, the way you measure that is going to be different. It's a different scenario for everyone, which is another reason why the outcomes that you're looking for will be different for everyone. You have a mainstream, well-known brand already established, and then you can have a brand that's on the come up. Either way, you can't compare the results of either of them and say, because a publicist, because a PR specialist got these results for these two different types of clientele, I know that I am going to get the same results. It doesn't work like that, because public relations outside of the publicist that you have to consider timing. You have to consider what the reporter has on his plate. You have to consider what's already going on in the news cycle, or what's already going on if you're considering a brand partnership and there's a particular event that is about to take place, i.e. the Super Bowl. That's time sensitive. You have to consider, if you're thinking about working with an influencer, what their content calendar looks like. Like, there's so many different pieces that go into it that are uncontrollable to the publicist. The most you can bank on when you are investing in a publicist, like I said before, is that they are the ones doing the labor-intensive work, where it's time, it's effort, it's hours, and I mean hours of researching. It does not matter how skilled you are as a publicist. This day and age, information is always changing. There's always something new. There's always something innovative coming out, and you as the publicist have to stay on top of those trends. So you're spending hours researching to help craft your pitch, whether you're pitching to media, whether you're pitching to an influencer, whether you're pitching to a partnership, a potential partnership, whether you're pitching to a vendor, whether, like, the list goes on and on. You're paying for the existing relationships that the person may have. You're paying for the person to make new relationships and sustain those relationships for you. You're paying for all of this that you will not do. So that's why publicist is valuable. And even if you do it, in fact, I encourage you to do it, because then you'll become familiar with how much work is actually required in order to get the job done. But with that being said, how can PR help your business? Here are a few ways. The first way is public relations places your brand in the news cycle consistently. So similarly to what I was saying before, when you hire a publicist, you're hiring someone to be your extra eyes and your extra ears for what's going on in the news cycle, and finding ways to insert your brand story into that news cycle. Another way that a publicist can help your business is they help connect the dots between your brand story and the other brands that already exist. So let's say you are a wellness and fitness brand, right? And you're trying to gain visibility, right? And you're trying to do that in an innovative way. Well, your publicist may say, okay, well, what are the ways that you have attempted to do this before? That's the first thing. The second thing will be, okay, ideally, what would you like to see? Like, in what ways have you thought about gaining visibility? Okay. And typically when I work with my clients, I like to break that down between their marketing process and then the ways that PR can A, amplify the marketing process, and B, have a leg, a significant public relations push on its own. Okay. And then from there, you're going to say, okay, for example, if it's a wellness and fitness brand, I'm going to say, all right, well, what are the wellness and fitness brands that can align with your brand? And I would take a look at that from either local, regional, or national level, or a similar scale would kind of be like a low, medium, high. And I would generate a list that aligns with the low, medium, and high targets, develop the contacts for that. And then it's about pitching. And then wait, when you pitch, the job is not done. You have to follow up. Sometimes you have to become a stalker on social media and find opportunities to organically interact with these contacts. Like, it's labor intensive, okay? But it ends up being worth it, because whether or not something comes from the dots that your publicist is connecting for you, it always helps to have a solid pitch, and obviously to have like your solid brand identity, your messaging's good, your marketing's good, because if someone opens the email and responds, even if the response is no, not at this time, they're gonna remember your name, right? They're gonna remember your name, and that sometimes is the start to a long process of, yes, we got that media placement, or yes, we got that partnership, right? That's the nature of PR. it sometimes can take time, and most often it does. It's not something that can happen overnight. PR campaigns, integrated marketing and PR campaigns, when planned correctly, and I say correctly loosely because, there's different ways to do it, but when planned effectively, I'll say, they're planned months in advance before the actual rollout of the product, the service, the persona base, whatever it may be. It takes time. Okay. The third way that PR can help your business is that it can help build consumer interest, right? So if I am a consumer and I find out about your brand on TV or on the radio, or I see that you're sponsoring a particular event that I attend every year, I will become interested in your brand, and that can indirectly convert into a sale, or a follower, or a newsletter subscriber, right? Again, it all depends on the overall campaign that's being built, and the goals of the campaign. And then lastly, the ways that PR can help your business is that it increases your credibility, right? When you see a brand in the media, obviously, we're assuming that it's a positive story. But when you see that, you automatically think, even if it's, subconsciously, like, wow, this brand is doing great. They are reaching some aspect of success. So a level of success that, they're on the media. So they're in the media, I should say. So that's great, right? So you want to build that credibility. The same aligns with the type of partnerships that you get. And it's all about how you craft the story. Like, when I say craft the brand story, I'm not only talking about the mission, the values, I'm also talking about like the journey of your brand, right? A publicist will help craft that so it's very attractive and people link on to a journey that's relatable, right? So your publicist will help you craft that, depending on the market that you're trying to reach. So I know that was a lot of information. I hope the information helps you. Public relations is an investment. Some people will say that it is a luxury, but it is something that your business will need in order to amplify your marketing efforts and to allow your brand to reach a larger audience. So consider it as you continue to create plans for this year. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I will be back next week with a new topic that will be announced shortly. If you're looking for more free resources that can help you build your business, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also look up the Brand Unveiled podcast on all streaming platforms. Bye.